Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you're joining us from. Welcome to yet another episode of the Coach's Corner for IrisVision. We're super excited today because we're going to hear from Chelsie. She is going to help us learn about how to prepare and what to expect for your first coaching session. So with IrisVision, a lot of the time, people who purchase directly from IrisVision will get the ability to have 3 coaching sessions. So we provide these coaching sessions because we want you to be able to be as successful as possible with your device. We want to give you all the information you need and provide you with all the tools to help you with whatever goals you might have when it comes to using your IrisVision. So, whether it's like sewing, knitting, crocheting, or woodworking, crafting, or doing crossword puzzles, or maybe even going back to work, we're going to help you get set up for success with that and with your IrisVision. So Chelsie, can you talk about how the coaching process works?
Yes, absolutely. So coaching sessions usually happen over the phone for most people. Your coach is going to call you and it's going to be a one-on-one session. That means that there aren't going to be a ton of people. It's just going to be your coach addressing your needs, the things that you want to do. Now, if you would prefer a Zoom session, we can do Zoom. If you are outside of the United States and you want to do WhatsApp, we can do WhatsApp. Now, we do prefer to work directly with the person who's using the IrisVision. That means that if you're buying this for a family member, we'll answer all the questions that you have about the IrisVision, but ultimately we do want to work with the person who will be using the IrisVision.
Right,
Now,
because sometimes people will want to learn it themselves, right? And as you're saying, Chelsie, it's better for the end user to use to be part of that session because we have to make certain observations, right?
Yeah, and the device can really be customized to the person who's going to be using it. So we like to help make those adjustments and really help the person get the most out of the device. But that does not mean you have to go it alone. We'd love for your family to be a part of the session, right, Myrna?
Absolutely, for sure. We want your loved ones to be there because it is a very impactful moment when you actually put the device on and you actually get to see, again, for the first time ever, or for the first time in a very long time. I, for one, know that when I first put mine on and I was able to see my daughter's face, it was really awesome. And I'm really glad that my mom was there to be able to share that experience with me as well. So we definitely want your family members to be there if they want to be there, but it's really important to have the end user be the one who goes through the process. We definitely want you to also have a sighted helper. The reason is because there are certain things that we need to get done in the beginning with your IrisVision, like connection to Wi-Fi, and maybe sometimes some things happen that we need the sighted person to be able to troubleshoot with or go through. So it's important to have that sighted help during the first coaching session, absolutely. If you don't have a sighted helper, it's okay. I mean, it's better to have that sighted helper if we run into those challenges along the way. But really, it's preferred to have that sighted help there. When we are connected to the Wi-Fi, sometimes that little keyboard pops up. I know I can't see that little keyboard at all. So the reason we want you connected to Wi-Fi in the beginning is because you're going to need that connection for lots of different reasons down the road. Eventually, during one of your coaching sessions, you're going to learn about your video player. You're going to learn about your iris reader. But most importantly, the Wi-Fi is important because of the remote assistance that you could receive from our team, our super awesome team of customer support. They'll be able to remote onto the device and help you in any type of situation, whether you're having trouble like focusing, or maybe there's something strange going on with your display. They can remote on and help you. So that's why Wi-Fi is really a key thing to have done in the beginning initially. So Chelsie, what else can people do or what else do people need during their first coaching session?
So you want to have the entire IrisVision package handy for that first coaching session. You're going to get this really cool box that everything comes in. Have that ready for your session. Your coach is going to walk you through everything that comes in that box. The headset that you get that you'll actually wear, this nice Samsung Galaxy, and all of the different chargers and cables and everything that come in it. Now, this looks like a cell phone. It's a Samsung Galaxy. It's not actually a cell phone. We use this as a display unit. And so it's not going to make cell phone calls. It's not going to do text messages. You don't want to give this to your grandkid to download a bunch of apps.
Right.
We will talk about how to get it charged, and you definitely want to have this display unit charged before your session. If you have any questions, we'll answer those questions before your session, but this display unit is the only thing that you need to charge before your session. The display unit will power the IrisVision headset. Those don't need to charge separately. So, Myrna, what can people do if they really want to knock that first session out of the park?
Well, they definitely want to be able to have like a reading stand, especially if your main goal is to be able to read. You want to have like a reading stand, whether it's a recipe book stand or a music stand, something to keep that user guide propped up and stable, because we're going to refer to the user guide throughout the first session as well. So that's something you want to keep handy. And it's also a really great tool to use for that initial reading process, because the print is typically pretty large in that user's guide. So that's going to be really helpful. Circling back to what Chelsie was saying with the device being, a cell phone. Sorry, lost my train of thought. One thing I wanted to mention there, and this is a good thing to be prepared for that first session too, is if you are alone and you don't have a sighted helper, please do not turn on the accessibility feature. I know it's going to be something that you might want to do because it's going to be a way for the phone to talk to, but as Chelsie mentioned, it's not really going to be functional like a regular cell phone. So turning on that accessibility is actually not going to be helpful. Then you're going to have to call into support. They're going to have to troubleshoot and fix it. So don't do that. So the other thing is, you want to be in a bright room. If you're in a bright room and there's windows or lighting, you want to make sure that your back is to that window, or if there's a lamp or something behind you, you want to make sure that the lighting is behind you. If you're sitting facing a window, all that light is coming into that camera of the cell phone. So just like any camera, when you're facing light, you know that image is not going to come through quite right or quite clearly. So make sure that you're not facing a window or a bright light. You want your back to that. The other thing is IrisVision has a really cool camera. It works really well. So if you're not in a bright room, that's okay. There's some brightness adjustments that can be done, especially for people with RP. When you're in a darker room, you'll be surprised to see how awesome the room actually looks when you have the device on. So there are lots of different options that you can do. For example, like setting your magnification, setting your brightness, and that's going to help out during that first session. And if you don't know how to do that, that's okay. That's what we're here for as your coach. So like your eyes, when you're trying to focus, it's better to have like good lighting, or when you're looking at something that's well lit. So that's how your IrisVision is going to function the best. So with that said, Miss Chelsie, how does someone get like started with their coaching sessions? What process do they have to go through in order to get them started on their first session?
So like Myrna mentioned, coaching is included whenever you get your IrisVision directly from IrisVision. You're going to get a welcome email from Myrna whenever you order your IrisVision. And right around the time that it arrives, you'll get a welcome call from one of us, your coaches.
Amazing coaches.
You'll schedule your first session over the phone with either your coach or our awesome customer support team. And at the end of each of your sessions, we'll schedule the next session for about a week out. We like for you to practice for about a week between each of those sessions. Now, your device will arrive with the first 5 modes enabled. There are 14 modes total, but we'll practice the first 5 in your first session. And every session we'll add a couple more for those who are interested in seeing all the modes that we have to offer. We'd love to show you everything that this is capable of. Some people want to do everything, some people don't, totally up to you. Now, if you have any questions about the way that the IrisVision works or the coaching process, we'd love to tell you more. Let us know in the comments and we'll look out for your questions. I'll turn it back to Myrna now for this week's pro tip.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chelsie. And just to kind of touch on what you finished up there, yeah, we do start off with certain modes. The reason is because we don't want to overwhelm you all at once. Now, I know that sometimes when you guys get your device, you're excited, you want to see the bubble mode, you want to see the iris reader, you want to see the video player, you want to see all these different modes, and it's very exciting. But we get you started off with the first 5 basic modes because we want you to have the best experience and the most success. So we start you off with, as Chelsie likes to say, baby steps, you know, getting started a little bit at a time. Just be patient with us. We go through this process because we want you to be successful. And as Chelsie said, you don't necessarily need to have all of the modes on. You can have all of the modes on eventually, but that's why we go through that process, just to help you with your success. Now, pro tip of the week. So sometimes people will feel like their display is maybe blurry or things just don't look quite right. And that could be because we get fingerprints on our IrisVision. So I have mine separate right now. I have the display unit in my hand and I have the IrisVision headset in my other hand. So when we're taking the phone in and out of the headset, sometimes our fingerprints get on the screen itself here of the display unit, right? So we want to make sure that this is nice and clean. Also, the little camera on the back, sometimes people don't realize it, but there's a little camera on the back, just like on a cell phone. And if our fingerprints get on that camera, it's really going to cause like blurriness or distortion when we're using our device. Also, when the camera is out of the headset, from time to time, you're going to want to clean these little lens bubbles. Those can, believe it or not, those can get dusty or dirty as well. But especially the little lens bubbles on the inside here. Sometimes when we're feeling around for the device, we don't realize that we actually touch these lenses by accident. So we want to keep those clean as well. You can use like a little microfiber cloth or like a lens cleaner. There are actually cleaning tips in the user's guide towards the back of the guide. So refer to your user's guide for those cleaning tips. Also, just this soft padded area, a lot of the time people don't realize that it's actually on a Velcro strip and you could take it off. You could take it off and clean it with like a mild soap. Same thing with the head straps. Again, all this information is in your user's guide, but most importantly, keep your lenses clean. You want to keep those clean in order to have the best display possible with your device. All right, so that was the pro tip of the day or of the episode for today. As Chelsie mentioned, any comments, questions that you might have, please put them in the comments below. Please share your pictures if you have any pictures, or share your story. I'd like to know what your stories are from when you first put your device on. That would be really cool. So share your story about your initial experience with IrisVision. We'd love to hear it. That's it for us today, guys. Chelsie, thank you so much. That was awesome. I hope people found it very valuable. I'm sure they did. And we'll be looking out for you during the next Coaches Corner. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.